What's going on, y'all? It's Liam Crowley with ScreenRant. We're here at South by Southwest, and I am now joined by the team behind The Surrender. Guys, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, Liam.
Absolutely. This film is quite spooky, quite scary. The development of I don't even want to tease too much. I want you to tell us about it, Julia. Resurrections, spookiness. Can you kind of just tell us where the story originally came from?
Well, this was loosely inspired by my mother and I's going through this experience with my stepfather when he passed away. We did not try to resurrect him. I'm just going to put that out there right now. Thank goodness. But she hired a death doula, and I did not know what that was before, and was very worried about it, and kept thinking, what is the absolute worst way that this could go? And that is The Surrender. The worst way that could have gone.
The worst. What an imagination you have, truly.
It's funny you mentioned that too, because I've been referencing this like 3 times this weekend in interviews, because a lot of movies that are made for South by are drawn from personal experiences. There's a mural I pass every morning on my walk in Brooklyn that says the healing power of art. Would you say that sentiment like that echoes with what you were able to make with The Surrender?
Oh, absolutely. This whole process, this has been how I've been able to process my grief over that. It has been incredibly therapeutic and has actually really helped me understand my mother a lot more, because in order to write about the mother and daughter, you have to think of the other person's perspective on things. So it's been very eye-opening. And, you know, one of the incredible things about this is it started off with me really writing about my mother and I and our relationship. And then when we brought on, you know, these 2 incredible actresses, they really took the parts and made them their own. And now, I mean, this is all them. They're just phenomenal. I'm so thrilled with what we were able to create together.
I was reading too for Colby and Kate that you gave them a specific note of don't approach this like they're villains. Approach this with understanding, like being sympathetic, being open to their mindsets. I was hoping you could both kind of speak on who your characters are, why they could be interpreted as villains, and why you approached it from the other way. Colby, we can start with you.
Yeah, I mean, I play a lot of villains. I tend to do that. I don't know why. But I promise I'm a nice person.
You're a wonderful person. We love you so much.
But I think, like, you know, mother-daughter relationships are extremely complex, and I was not great to my mother when I was in high school. You know, the hormones are raging, and all of a sudden you're like, why are you controlling me? Why are you telling me what to do? You know, there's all of that. And also oftentimes mothers want to make, this is not really true for my mother, but they want to make their daughters in the image of who they wish they were. And I feel like with daughters can also be very cruel to their mothers in that same way, because they see themselves in this person and they're like trying so desperately to be their own person. And so there are some serious fights that we have in this movie that are quite, you know, brutal. We say some really honest stuff to each other. And whenever you play anybody, there's never any reason to judge them, and because judging them will just make you not understand them and not bring any heart to the thing. You just resist them. And that was, you know, what we ended up doing with this was just, we have to show up as like, what is Megan actually feeling at this moment? And she's justified in those feelings. And yeah, a villain never thinks that they're doing anything wrong. They never think that they're there to like save the world, and they think that this is how it's best to save the world, you know. Well, not always save the world, but, you know,
sure.
or like help themselves.
Of their own story, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Kate, what else do you have to add there?
Honestly, for me, it was the biggest thing that I had to do, the biggest challenge for me playing this character was the notion of why did I need to do what I was doing? Why did I feel, you know, we all go through the death of loved ones. I mean, certainly when you're my age, you go through it more often. And the reality is that I thought, okay, what is it in her that, and we talked about this a lot, what is it in her that makes her feel she cannot not do this? She must try to keep him, she must try to bring him back from the dead. So that was really interesting. And funnily enough, I didn't really meet Julia's actual mom until the end, which is a good thing. Not because she's not fabulous, but because she's very opinionated. In the best way. And when I told her about things we changed, and a couple of times she went, "Oh yeah, I was really glad you didn't do that part." And I was like, "Oh my God," I just howled. And so the thing is, that was very interesting for me. But what was really powerful, we really worked on it together. We had Julie's amazing script and we worked on it, rehearsed it, and kind of changed a few things here and there. And so by the time we got to actually shooting it, we had a relationship. The three of us did, but Colby and I really did. And then the whole notion of also the dynamic of the mother-daughter, that I know that I'm going to get pushback from her no matter what I do. Like literally say, "Would you like tea or coffee?" Pushback. I mean, like nothing is going to be easy with this child.
That's so true.
And so it was just so interesting, and that thing of, you're in your grief spiral, and what is it? You think, "Oh, I want to change this. And how do we change this? I know. Let's bring him back from the dead." So, but the thing is that's really interesting is that she's been planning it for quite some time. That was the other thing. It was fascinating. I don't think of her as a villain at all. I mean, so
She's not a villain.
So
I don't think of Megan as a
the
villain
thing
either,
is that I think that she truly believes this is what she's supposed to do, and the loss of herself in this grieving process. She's losing herself, and maybe she just wants to get back to herself, and so she thinks that it's crazy. But that's what this movie is. It's fantastic.
Wow, that was so insightful.
Thank you so
I feel like
much.
I'm learning so much about
Well,
your characters here. When it came to the title of this movie, The Surrender, how'd you land on it?
Actually, we started off with a different title.
Ooh. Really? No kidding.
What was that?
No, it was originally The Wailing Women.
Sick.
And
Alliteration.
then,
Wow.
I know, and then we're like, I don't know about this.
You do a lot of wailing.
And
There is
a lot
wailing.
of
We do
but-
wailing.
But then I got really nervous that people are going to be like, so it's just women crying for an hour and a half.
Terrifying.
And I
We
was like,
definitely need to
oh,
see
no,
more of that,
I mean,
for
that's
sure.
not what this is. There's actually a lot of dark humor in it as well. But
Yes.
so we started brainstorming and we're like, The Surrender. That's really what this is all about, isn't it? I mean, that's kind of all of this is about, that learning how to let go and accept and deal with grief.
Yeah, we've spoken a lot about villains who see themselves as the heroes of their own story. Colby, you got 5 seasons of experience with that. I'm very excited for the boys to I don't want to say excited for it to wrap up because I don't want it to go. But
I know.
you guys wrapped
I
production
know.
recently?
No, we're still in the middle of filming. Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
We were
yeah.
lucky she was able to join us for this.
They really pulled some strings to get me here. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for being
I know
here.
we can't talk about much, but is it safe to say that the main series is going to go out with a bang?
I mean, those writers really know how to do it. Yeah, they haven't given us the last 2 episodes yet, but it's all building it's really building in a way where I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? I can't wait to read those episodes. But yeah, it's crazy, man. It's been 7 years working on that character. And I'm really like, it's crazy being in that headspace for so long. And that's why I was so grateful for this movie, because it gave me something it's still heightened material in a very different way, but it gave me something very different to do. And it really, I learned so much doing this movie. I mean, I get to play opposite
Kate Burton. Come on.
legendary Kate Burton theater.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, I'm never gonna stop saying that.
Don't stop saying.
But I've wanted to do a 2-hander for a really long time, and getting Julia told me in one of our first meetings that the thing that really sold me on it really was that she was going to lock off the camera, have these wide shots, and we were going to get to play within that space and
Like a stage production.
Yeah, not worry
Exactly.
too much about marks and not we're just gonna let it go and let whatever happen. And I mean, one of my favorite directors is John Cassavetes, and that's how he moved. And I was like, well, that's what I want to do. I want to, so getting to do this in between seasons has been really wonderful, and off to the races for when it's over.
Yeah, it says a lot about the boys when the surrender is like your escape project.
Exactly. Her relaxing project.
This is the one to
really
just,
true.
we
So
can chill.
true.
We don't have to get into the crazy gore and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but what's beautiful about both of these genres is that, what's great about The Boys is that it allows us to comment on what's happening in our society, and it's palatable
In real time, too,
in
which
real
is crazy.
time, and it's palatable because it's within a genre that is fantasy. And with this, it's like, this is a family drama first. It is about grief. It is about taking care of loved ones and how to say goodbye to people, and because it's in the horror genre, we're able to swallow that and explore that really in a way that we can go as dark and as deep as we can, and people can watch it because it's in this fun scream bloody situation.
Yeah, and it's made for a South by audience. I think, these are the most passionate film fans in the world, and I think they're going to eat it up. So, guys, thank you so much for your
you.
time.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Liam.
that.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for having us.